I think I'm online, right? Yeah, I'm finally online. Hey, good evening, everyone. I hope you're doing well. I'm actually excited that there is somebody in the chat because it's super warm. Today we had like 30 degrees outside and we were melting here in Zurich. I really hope that you're doing good. My last week was not so good. It was actually horrible. If you followed my Insta, let me lower down the gain here. If you follow my Insta, you know that I had a terrible week. I was laying down and vaccination. I was in the hospital and stuff like that went going on. So my week was not so cool, but I'm doing well. Hey Andreas, good evening. Hey Jürgen. Hey, nice to see you in the chat. I hope you're all good. Hi Miguel. Digitakt update rate? No, I don't have the update. I just read it in the gym because before I started my live, I was in the gym. Yes, I'm so stupid, and I go to the gym because it's air code, so it's super cool in the gym. But I don't have the update. But um, I'm super excited about that. And I have the transfer 1.4 installed already. I think I did that 3 days ago. And the update, yeah, that's super cool. I mean, that they still maintain this product. That's really also a statement as a company. I think they do that really good. Yeah, tonight I have a track from a guy from Italy. And I thought we do a little roast my track lesson. Um, because I thought people were asking me that a lot. Can I send you and get track feedbacks and stuff? And of course they can do. You can do. Um, but until now, it was really not possible to exchange Digitakt files. You could exchange like the project file, but you were not able to reproduce it exactly on the Digitakt. But that changed with the 1.4 transfer app. And yeah, I did recover good. Thanks. Thanks for asking, Jürgen. Um, and this is super easy. I don't know if you have tried this out. I did this a couple of days ago to get prepared for tonight. And it's really easy. They implemented this really cool. You get like a package that you can drop from transfer to your computer. And from your computer, you can drop it to any other Digitakt, including samples, including project files. That's super helpful. And to know, I will work on a track from Emmanuel. He sent me a track. It's like a minimal thing. I haven't heard it yet. I just checked if the transfer app worked well. So I think we go through the tracks that he delivered, and then we check what we can do with that. I see that the video is lacking right now. I don't know if that is only me. Maybe it's because of the connection. I have no clue. But before we start, just to tell you that this is now super sharp, isn't it? I bought a super expensive webcam some month ago, but it didn't work. And this is now my phone that uses an app for transforming it into a webcam, which has a nice quality. So if you're ever looking for a good webcam, take what you have and take your camera. That's pretty cool. It works with all of the streaming services. Okay, so let's see what Emmanuel sent me. I have a look in my project folder. Manage project. And it's called Mini. Sorry. Project, load project. Mini, save macros. No, yes. Okay. So, let's have a listen what he did. I just need to check if my audio configuration is correct. Yes, it is. So he sent me a track that is, oh, I don't know if the octa track is giving the clock right now. So I think I have to turn this off. I know maybe you want to talk about the octa track, but I don't because I'm not really safe with that right now. Oh, I see that the screen of the Digitakt is still a little blurred. I think I have to play around with the configuration. So yeah, he sent me a track that is 110 BPM, and there's no swing on it, and he's using all 8 tracks, I think. Guys, can you give me a short feedback? Can you hear me? And do you see everything? Is everything okay? Because I see that the YouTube video is not really smooth at the moment. So give me a little feedback if you hear my voice and everything is okay. So let's start with the first track. That's a kick. You should hear the kick right now, huh? Do you hear it? I kinda like it. It's like is it like a 606 sound? I think it's a 606. I'm very bad with names, so but I think it's a 606 like kick sound. Yeah, you're all curious about the update, right? Yeah, I actually had no time to update my Digitakt because I just came home from work, and I just read it at the gym that there was this update. Hey guys, hi JL and hi Johnny CKN. We texted on Insta today. Nice to see you in the chat. So yeah, I had no time to update my Digitakt, but I will for the next session, that is for sure, because I cannot believe that there are now 2 LFOs per track. That must be heaven for all Digitakters, right? Okay, so let's move ahead. This is the kick. Then we have the next track. That is a snare. Yep. And that moves. The panning is modulated with the LFO, right? Hey Manfred. Good evening. Video sometimes lagging, yeah. I think the video is lagging. I see that on my computer too. I have like a control iPad to check what's going on. So let's see how that develops. Maybe it be that this is a problem with our apartment. Or maybe my hardware is just too overheated tonight. Okay, we have a snare that is panned. Then we have the next track. That is like a synth. Yeah. Yeah, that is like a synth. I don't know if we have internet problems tonight. But I have to tell you that that is a little problem that we have to wait if the connection gets better. I hope that it gets better. Maybe we have a connection error at the moment. So track number 3 is like a synth playing. Then we have a pad. Which is nice. I like it. But I hear already in the pad progression that there could be an issue with the scale. But let's see what else comes along. The next track. That is like a stab or something. Nice. And he's modulating the amplitude hold, and I think he yeah, he's using some trick conditions to get the pattern a little bit more lively. Hey Isa, what happened to 112 BPM? What do you mean? Why? What is the question? What do you mean? Do you mean the radio show? That was broadcast yesterday. And welcome to the chat, by the way. So this is like, yeah, a nice chord playing with a little randomness in there. Then we have an ARP. Yeah, that is cool. I think so. But I also like the ARP. That's pretty light and simple. So let's see how he's doing that. So he's using 4 pages. Everyone who just tuned in, we have like a little roast my track session tonight. And with the help of Electron Transfer 1.4, I received a package from a friend of mine, and we are going to work with that. So yeah, it's like a little roast my track or something. And right now I'm going through the tracks and figure out what he wants to do with that. So this is track number 6 was an ARP. Then we have track number 7. Oh, that's empty. Okay. And track number 8. Let's play track number 7 too. Yeah, that's like a little hi-hat or something, which is pretty nice. I think I like it. He wanted to do something with another chord or stab. But there's nothing playing actually. Maybe. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Okay, so let's play everything together. The quality is not so cool, right? The video quality is not so cool. Yeah, I think there are some issues with this track, and they are caused by those 2 tracks. Can you hear that? And I think the pad just doesn't fit to the other chord sound. Ey, Schreiber. Wie geht's? Alles gut? Wir haben ein paar Videoprobleme heute Abend, aber wir kriegen das bestimmt in den Griff. So yeah, I think that is a little issue. I think this plays together well, but the pad doesn't fit, so I think we have to search for a different sound for the pad. I really like the drum section of this track. Let's play that separated. Hey, Emmanuel. Ah, there's a fill track. Good to know. Oh yeah, that's nice. That is the cool programming, Emmanuel. Nice. Yeah, that is a cool idea. That's pretty sweet. I still think there is an issue with the pad and the scale, the bass note of this track. Because I think the pad plays in minor while the track plays in major. Sorry, the pad plays in major while the rest of the track plays in minor. I think that's a problem. Emmanuel, do you know the key of this track? Because I don't know that well either. No, I think this sample will not work because it's a different scale, I guess. I would rather search for another sound because this works pretty well together. I really like the drum section of the track. It's simple, it's effective, cool feel to this track. Let's see if I can do something with the bass sound. Because the bass sound sounds to me a little repetitive, so I want to give something something crisp to it. Yeah, because I think this is a nice interplay between the bass line and those chords playing. Like when the chords pause, then there is a long note from the bass line playing. And then we bring in some little variations because I'm not convinced about this note because it plays on the same note than the kick. And you don't hear it really because I think it's masking. You cannot check it with the digitakt. But I think that is possible. So I'm gonna delete the first note. Because you won't hear a difference. But the kick will cut through a little bit better. Yeah, that's nice. And because this note plays like 4 or 5 tricks, that's the last note of the bass, it also comes together with this kick trick. So what I'm going to do is I will add an LFO, which is now double with the new OS from the digitakt. I'm gonna add an amplitude volume to the LFO, and I'm going to duck a little bit so that this trick is free of low frequencies. And I'm gonna do that by adding a little bit of depth to the LFO. Yeah, like that. Yeah, I hear a little click as well. You mean on the bass, right? Maybe that's because we could add a little attack and decay. And just by adding this LFO to the bass, I think the track got already more dynamic. Yeah, the kick sound is pretty short, so that's okay. Let's go ahead and add. I really like the snare sound. That's a nice one. I'm not going to touch this track. It's really cool. Oh, maybe. Maybe I'm going to... Yeah, that is the one. Maybe I'm going to add like one little ghost snare. Yeah, that's a huge update. Huge. Yeah, that's nice, but maybe that track. Yeah, that is cool. What I don't like about this track is that, yeah, the snare is pretty cool, but I don't know if you hear it. What bothers me is a little bit that the snare is also panned left and right, and I think this is for the end product. This is not so cool because when I imagine I'm in a club somewhere, maybe the clubs are going to open soon again, but the snare is only hearable every time from then and then. I'm not sure if this is really cool, so I think the bass instruments should be in the center of the stereo spectrum, and that is why I think I'm going to lock the the snare tricks by locking the panning. Here we go. So if I'm going to log it, they are not being affected by the LFO panning. So let's see if that works. No? Did I log the wrong one? Ah, that doesn't work. Okay. So that doesn't work. This is not so cool. I didn't know that. You cannot lock the panning position. Okay. Why not? That's weird. Hey, Dieter. Nice you're in the chat. Lay the bass as the kind of snare, the bass in the center. Yeah, the bass is in the center actually. But I want to put the snare in the center. But I don't know why that doesn't work. I don't know why. I think I'm going to switch this off for a little while. because that makes me weird that the snare is sometimes here and sometimes here. That makes me a little confused. I'm gonna add this LFO panning at a later point again. Yeah, I think for this track, maybe the panning is not the best. The best idea. Okay, let's check the next track. Yeah, that's true. We talked about that in an earlier session. I remember there was a track with a lot of reverb on the bass, which is also like dangerous, I think. So the kick must be in the middle, the bass must be in the middle. And then you can start messing around. But Andreas is really right. I have never heard of that name, but that's completely true. Bass is always in the middle. But in this track, it is actually. But this pad doesn't match. Okay, let's check out the next one. Okay, I'm gonna replace those two notes just to check it out. So I'm just playing around. I actually think if those stabs are playing one trick later, I think the groove is a little better of the whole pattern. I don't know if you agree or not. Yeah. Maybe do that. Oh, let's try that for all of these. Copy, paste the tricks. Copy, paste the tricks. Let's check what's going on with the amplitude. Yeah, I have the perfect idea to replace this pad that doesn't match to the scale of this track. What I'm going to do is, this sample of this stab is called chord tail, and I'm going to use it for track number 4 as well. But I noted that this sample is actually, it is actually a pad, so we will put it down 1 octave. No, that's a little too deep. I think the delay of the track activated the ping pong. Yes, you are right. They are ping ponged, but very subtle, so it's not really wide. Because I've just opened the reverb settings, I'm going to set this feedback to a more defined range. there's also reverb added to the delay send channel. Okay, so but we have been to this track number 4 that is playing this track, this pad, and now I replaced the pad with the pad that's playing on this one, because Emmanuel was forming this step with this sound. It's the same sample, and I made a pad from that, which works pretty well as well. So I'm going to add a little filter to that. And maybe some bit reduction. Yeah. And what we could do is, he's panning this pad as well, but actually I don't hear that panning. Actually, when you work with panning, I have like a little rule or something. To me, panning is cool, but I always see that I only, or that I'm careful with pannings in a track. If there's too much movement, the track gets unbalanced if you hear it on speakers or something. So maybe in my tracks there's mostly one track going around, and that's it. There's not so much movement going on. Yeah, there's a bandwidth and EQ filter. Yeah. Are you already installed it? I think you are installing it already, right? Ja, auf das Digitakt-Update freue ich mich auch. I'm really not sure when I should do everything, because I'm still discovering the Octa track. Yesterday was my very first night when I made a cool sound with the Octa track after I studied it for a couple of hours. Yesterday was a cool day, but it takes a lot of time. So yeah, updates need to get discovered as well. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's save it. Let's save that. Yeah, I think because we took away the panning from the percussion, I think we can leave this in. Maybe we could. There's a lot of reverb going on the pad. Reverbs on pads are. They always have like a question mark in my head, because pads mostly don't need reverb. But I'm going to add or configure the reverb because it's not. You don't hear it at the moment, so I'm going to add some more reverb so we can hear what's going on. Yeah, now that makes sense. So I added more reverb decay time, so it's going a longer tail from the reverb. And I lowered down the input low pass filter so that only a little bit of the reverb frequencies are going to play, because otherwise the mix will be a little bit muddy. Yeah, that's true. And I could add another rule. If you work with panning and you're going to master it, always switch to mono and listen how it sounds when you played mono. That's a really important tip, I think. Thanks, Andreas. Really cool inputs. What is a good idea? Give the pad movement LFO and filter frequency. The pad movement LFO. Yeah, you could add like a movement to the pad. I do that a lot. He is now using the panning, but you could also add like a frequency movement, or the filter frequency movement like this. Which I think is really cool, because I added a little bit of 8-bit reduction, so you get like a little white noise on top. I think I will change it. I think I'm going to change the panning to filter frequency. Not that I don't like it, but panning I can add later in Ableton. Sorry to say that, but because I'm recording all audio separated, I could add panning if I think it adds something to the track. I could add it later if I want. Well, if I'm going to perform this live, I couldn't, because I only have what I do. But I think the track will get richer if I'm changing the panning to the filter frequency modulation. And I always ask myself, because I have limited capacity on the Digitakt, if I do something, does it add something to the track, or is it senseless? Like adding reverb to a pad is in most cases useless. Or adding tricks to something. So I always ask myself, does it help to build up the track? And I think it would help to build up the track phase by adding filter frequency modulation. Not so deep, maybe. And slower, and maybe not the waveform. Sometimes I don't like the sinus waveform of the LFO, because you always have a long spot when it comes down where nothing happens. So I prefer to use the triangle waveform, because it's constantly moving. Yeah, that is nice, but maybe it's still too fast. Maybe a little bit deeper. Yeah, that is cool. What you could do is, you could add now a second LFO, which is now possible with the new update. I mean, if you use the MIDI loopback feature, I'm not sure if this update in terms of LFO capacity will be the big surprise, because if you add a MIDI cable, you have like 8 additional LFOs you can use. So I would now be, but I don't do that. If I write Emmanuel this track back, I will suppose that he adds a second LFO that maybe pans it a little bit, or that also modulates the bit reduction like this. But for now, I leave it like this. So, okay, let's save it. The reverb, I'm not convinced yet. and the LFO goes to it's closing the filter too much. Yeah, now it comes back. I'm not sure. Let's see how it sounds if I turn off the reverb. I kind of like this. Yeah, 130. Hey, hi Mim, J44. Yeah, so I added a little reverb. I think it was a little too much, actually. But I still want to tweak the sound a little bit. Let's add a little filter envelope. I like that. The sound gets a little more deeper by adding this envelope. Yeah. I think the same, Andreas. I think reverb on a pad makes no sense, actually. Okay, so let's go ahead with this one. I think this is actually the sound that could bring in the movement that Emmanuel wanted to bring in with the other tracks. I think this is like, it plays on the top of everything, this sound, together with the R that we are having later. But I think this is one of the sounds that could bring in like stereo movement. What it does actually. Yeah. So, okay, this is cool. I think I'm going to leave it. Maybe shorten the decay time a little bit. So that's like a little... And I'm going to add some variations in the volumes here. Maybe more. The first note will be I don't know the English word for it. Quiet. But you know what I mean. Okay, let's add a little filter to it. Actually, I was hoping when I was reading the release notes of 1.3, I was really hoping that they added a frequency analyzer or something, but no, they didn't. I think maybe it's too complicated on the small screen. Cool. Let's see what happens with this ARP. The ARP is also panned, and I think I'm going to switch it off for a moment. I don't want to go so much going on. And let's make these shorts a little shorter. And there's a lot of reverb going on. I mean, it's cool to use reverb, but I think you should decide where you want to add the reverb. In my opinion, it's dangerous if you have a couple of tracks with a lot of reverb, because it will make your mix muddy. And yeah, so I tend to maybe have one track with the reverb. Maybe sometimes I use 2 tracks, but not more. So let's see what happens if I turn this off. Okay, I'm not sure about that. But what I think is that this melody is pretty sweet. But I think it plays too often. I'm gonna let this play only in the first page. And then I think the reverb makes sense, because it will fill the rest of the pattern with the tail. Yeah, gonna leave it for now, because I think I have not so much time left. I think I have 5 minutes left, but I think we are more or less done with this. Okay, let's gonna save it. Yeah, that fits nice as well. That's a pretty sweet fill. I think for now we are done. So I'm going to return this file to Emmanuel, who sent me this using the transfer app 1.4. Yeah, that was it for tonight, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I really have to check what's going on with the video. Maybe that's a problem with my converter. Maybe my Mac is too slow for it. But he never did this, so maybe that's a problem with my internet connection. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed it. Stay safe, have a good evening. And if you want, you can join me. Saturday night will be a new track on my YouTube channel, of course. I have to create that. So maybe I'm going to be live again tomorrow night or Friday night, and then you can see what I do. There will be a spontaneous live. Die nachfolgende Sendung verschiebt sich um 25 Minuten. Ja, der ist cool. Die verschiebt sich um 25 Minuten. Der ist sehr geil. Und dann kommt plötzlich dieses wie nennt sich das? Dieses Sendeschluss kommt dann plötzlich. Manfred, danke, dass du da warst. Thanks everyone for being there. Like Jürgen, Andreas, thanks for all the tips that you gave us. Dieter, who was there as well? I see John CKM, Mike Robin. Hey Mike, I haven't seen you. I'm sorry. It was scrolling so fast in the moment. I didn't see that you're in the crowd as well. Thanks for joining. I hope you liked it. Schreiber was there, Emmanuel, and everyone else. It was super nice. Have a nice night. We see us soon. The next session is in 2 weeks, actually. And if you want to send me your track for something like this we did tonight, feel free. My email address is music@59perl.com. And you can send me your Digitag packages, and then we can work on that. But next time, I think there is a track breakdown from my tracks. So I try to make like a little structure in those sessions, so you guys know what to expect from future sessions. And the next time will be, I think it will be a track breakdown, I guess. So yeah, let me know what you think about this. If you like this way of roasting a track, I think it's cool. And have a nice evening. We see us soon. Thanks for joining, guys. Bye.